So we've got 2 awards still to announce this afternoon. And they say that when you become a parent, you take on a lifelong job. No matter how old your child becomes, you are always there for them, no matter what. Just ask my mum. Those words probably you could times 100-fold for our next nominee, because being a parent for her really has been a lifelong job. Marie McCourt has been fighting for her daughter Helen since a very cold night in February 1988. Tell us a bit about Helen.
Helen was always had confidence, you know. She was very outgoing. She loved children, you know, and that's one of the things that I hate so much, because I think Helen would have had a nursery full of children if she got married and had that chance.
When did you know for sure that you weren't going to see her again?
I knew for sure. I was absolutely still hopeful, and that was the Tuesday night. Helen didn't come home, and on the Thursday evening at about 8:30, 8:45, 2 very senior officers came to the house, and I described what Helen was wearing, what jewellery she had on. I'd given them the everything. And these 2 officers came, and they had a little file, you know, those scientists have, where they stick them in little holes. And it was clear plastic, and they took me into the dining room and they said, does this mean anything to you? And as soon as I looked at her, I just sort of froze, and I just said, I didn't say it was, I just said that's identical to the earrings I've described to you that Helen was wearing. And I just knew then, and I just said, when will you find her? And the senior officer, he still keeps in touch with me, and he just said, we don't know, Mrs. McCourt, we may never find her. And I asked him that many years after, when he was retired. And I said, when I asked you that, do you remember what you said? And he said, yes. I said, why did you say that? Did you have an inkling? He said, I don't know, Miss McCourt. It just come into my head that she may never be found. And of course, this man, evidence was so much against him. He was released on the 5th of February. Had it had gone to the not the day Helen went missing, but when he was checked out on the 11th or the 12th of February, and so he was only short of 33 years.
Right up until the point he was released, he still hadn't revealed where Helen was.
No.
You've never been able to say goodbye. You've never been able to say goodbye.
No, never. And that is the most important thing, Michelle, you know. I think that a lot of people now are aware of how important it is to be able to say a last goodbye to a loved one. And that's through the virus, the COVID virus, and which has been so very sad. But before that, the murders without a body weren't anywhere near as much as any normal murders, where the body is found right away and then they look for the killer. And in this part, they got the killer, but they can't find the body. And that is now going up and up and up. And I thought, this can't be right. I've got to get this. I didn't say Helen's law. I said we need a law that these killers, unless they show remorse, they should not come out of prison. And that to me is, I don't want to keep them in prison. I just want them to admit what they have done. and to let the family who's the killer murdered their loved one, let them at least then be able to give, however little the parts may be, at least they've got part of them back. They can have a funeral, they can say last goodbye. And that's why a lot of the people whose, say, relatives and that, they couldn't even see them. They're like us in that way. But obviously they died through a virus and not through a horrific murder.
It's been an absolute delight and a genuine privilege to talk to you. And you absolutely deserve to be nominated for an award at the Inspiring Women Awards. And
the only reward I want is to have Helen's remains, what few they are. And we still, Michelle, it's tearing me apart because since we got this COVID last year, we couldn't go out. We couldn't go out searching or anything. And in the meantime, especially because of Helen's Law and going through, so many people were coming through. And I was getting people coming through with, my dad. I remember my dad was telling me this, and I just wonder whether it could be the place where Helen was. Because my dad said he seen this car parked up in the woods, and he was looking out of the window because the weather, it was the night of the storm. And so it was things like that. And it's, I just think that people are so kind, really, and they try to help. But now I've got Helen's Law. I just don't want to let any of the families who've supported, who've got their families to send in for Helen's Law. And so I feel, I'm stronger. I'm not expecting Helen to be found like this, but I want to keep the families who are going through all of this now. I want to let them see that we're going to fight this, we're going to do our best.
Hi, Marie.
Hello.
Lovely to see you.
And you too.
We were just discussing that fantastic painting behind you of Helen. Can you just describe what all the little pictures are around it?
They're just photographs of the children, Michael and Helen, as they were growing up, pictures of my family and some friends, and he just picked out what he wanted. I just give him a massive photographs from when they were born, basically, and he put them all around, and he painted the Helen's face in the centre. He copied that off a photograph, but I couldn't believe how it's perfect to the photograph.
It's a beautiful, inspiring piece that that you have as a memento of Helen, because obviously you don't have Helen, so that's a stunning piece of artwork. Yeah. So, Marie, you were the one that made me cry the most when I was editing the films, and it was just in your voice, it was the timbre when you talked about Helen, and we couldn't keep it all in, I'm afraid, because you talked a lot, quite rightly, and I hope we've managed to get enough of your story. But when you talked about Helen, you came alive, and then when you talked about the fact that she would have loved to have children, and what you were denied being a grandparent, and it really touched me. So and there were lots of pieces where you as a mother, Michelle and I were just talking about our own kids, and it is your worst nightmare. But obviously you still remember Helen in a beautiful, positive light, and at least you have that. So anyway, I won't carry on wumbling.
You'll start crying again.
I know. I feel myself tearing up actually, and I'm a cynical.
There's a box of tissues.
I know. you can see they brought them just for you. So I'm delighted to move it over there. I'm delighted, Marie, to award you the Community 2021 Inspiring Women Award. You fight the fight for other families, and you know that you probably will never have Helen back, and yet you keep searching for her as any parent would. And the Helen's Law has not benefited you, unfortunately, but will benefit other families. And for that, we applaud you, Marie, and we hope one day you find peace. Thank you, Marie.
Oh, and thank you. It's lovely to know, and also it helps with the families to know that their pain and grief is being acknowledged, by the public as well, because a lot of people, and I'm going back a few years when I was young, and in like late teens and that, and you'd read about something, a murder, and you'd think, oh, isn't that awful, but maybe a couple of hours later, it's just gone out your head, and people say, if that happened to me, this is what I'd do. But the answer to that is that if it does happen to the person, they act totally different to how they would if it was their child. It's a total different thing, and because of the work that we do in support after murder and manslaughter on Merseyside, we're able to help families who think that they know how they would react, but they don't, and they can't understand it. And we are able, I'm able to help with anything like that, because I've gone through it now for 33 years. It doesn't get better. Nothing changes. The only thing that will change for me is for Helen's remains to be recovered. And we are still out searching, but we've not been able to do it, obviously, while we've had this COVID. And I need to get out and help not just myself, but other families.
Well, you're the epitome of mother love, Marie, and we wish you well and congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
Yes, and can I say thank you as well, not just to you, which I'm very grateful for, and you cheered me up now and this afternoon.
Oh, lovely.
But just to say to all the people, 750,000 people signed the petition for Helen's Law. And I intend to make sure that law now is going to be obeyed. I know we can't stop them all from coming out, but the parole boards, now the parole judge, would have to make sure that these killers, if they were still releasing them without saying where their victims' bodies, what they did with it, then if they won't say that, then they have to obey that law and say, well, you're not going to be safe to be released, because you won't tell, you won't say, and let the victim's family be able to give their loved ones a burial.
Okay.
And also I wanted to say is a big thank you also to Kathleen Moody, who I believe, I know that she put my name forward, and it was her who informed me first that I've been put forward for this. So thank you anyway, everyone, and thank you to all the people who are still supporting me to make sure that Helen's Law is followed, and these killers who refuse to say where their victims are, then they have to be looked at as being unsafe to be released, and therefore they should stay in prison until they stop getting their head right and saying, well, I don't want to die in prison, so I may as well say where the victim's body is.
Okay, thank you so much. Take
Well
care.
done, Marie. Thank you. Keep up the fight.
I know. I thought I was going to lose it then, actually.
I have great admiration for anyone like Marie who can keep fighting and fighting and fighting, and look at what she's done. And like you said, she might never get Helen back, and be able to, you know, give her a proper burial. But look how many other families that she might be able to help, unfortunately, help in the future. Extraordinary story. So, to our last award. Teenagers often get a bad rap. They're opinionated, they're stubborn, they're messy, they're eating machines. But enough about my home life. I want you to meet an inspirational woman who refused to take no for an answer when it came to a member of her own family. Meet, oh, I really hope I get this right because I've been practicing. Meet Jade Kilduff.
I hope you weren't swearing.
So my mum and dad are foster carers, and they started fostering when I was about 10 years old. And we fostered lots of different babies and children and watched them go on to, you know, amazing adoptive homes and, you know, just really help them out. And then we got a call about an amazing little boy. But we was told that, you know, he might not make it through the night. He probably won't make it through the winter because of his severe disabilities, which was Christian. And apparently the social services had called a few other foster homes and they'd said no, because obviously he might have not survived. But we as a family decided, even though that would be a great loss if he didn't, we would want to give him a good few months. We would want to have him and help him and give him a nice loving home to come to from hospital, even if that was just for a short period of time, which was obviously really hard. But yeah, I mean, you've got Christian at 6 years old now, and you know, we was told a very bleak outlook. He might not survive. He's got severe disabilities. He will never walk. He will never talk. He won't have control of his muscles. All these things that he's just completely smashing out of the window. So obviously when we got the call, it was something that we had to speak about as a family, because obviously bringing a child into the family that might not survive is going to be hard. I was 14, my little sister was 9, you know, but we all decided that we wanted to help him.
So Christian was with you for, you say he's now 6, is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when they told you that he wasn't going to be able to have normal communication skills and normal interactions, what made you decide that you were going to teach yourself signing? Because a lot of 14-year-olds or 16-year-olds, they wouldn't. They've got their own lives to think about.
Yeah, well, I knew that some people who couldn't talk used sign as a way to talk. But I thought, why not try this with Christian? I mean, his favourite TV programme was Mr. Tumble, and that signed. And when I did start signing, he was always so interested in what I was saying. It was like it allowed him to listen in a way. So I signed a bit, and then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to commit to it. So I learned sign, and I started signing every single day for a year and a half. And he would just sit and smile, which was enough for me. But then a year and a half on, he signed back. And it literally was like, from that moment, all the connections just linked. And now he's signing, he's talking, he's even singing. Like, it just blew the whole communication thing through the roof. I mean, it was amazing. Signing literally changed Christian's life. So we wanted to try and get that message out there, you know, not to just give up. There's always other methods you can try. And so I set up Sign Along With Us, which was firstly online, and me and Christian would upload videos in the hope that our firstly, our friends and family would be able to watch them and talk to Christian through sign. But then we realised that it was helping others. You know, like, oh, my daughter wouldn't speak at all, and now she's copying your signs and she can sign to us that she wants a drink. And, you know, stuff like this where it's literally changing people's lives. So we knew we couldn't stop there. So we just carried on and carried on. We got together a group for free of charge in our community, so people locally could come and sign together as a family and just learn it with a bit of fun. So we signed to music, and then I thought this needs to go further. So we applied for Britain's Got Talent. Going on there, we thought really it's going to give all those people in our group that opportunity that they might not have otherwise. And we thought, you know, it's going to spread the message to the Lowry, but I genuinely didn't think that they would put it on TV. I thought they would just be nice and be like, oh, that was lovely, but, you know, not actually air it. And then we got the Golden Buzzer, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be on TV. People are going to see us sign. People are going to start talking about sign. And then, you know, the support that we got from that off the bat was just amazing. On social media, people saying that they're behind us, that they support us. And then the semis getting through to the finals when, I mean, we were in the top 3. So really 2 others should have been higher than us. But, I mean, we made it. And then in the finals coming second place, like, none of us could have ever imagined that we would have that support that we did.
So if you were fortunate enough to win one of our awards, how would you react to that?
I think it would be a mixture of screaming and crying, because again, it's just something that you don't expect even to be nominated. I didn't expect it at all. What I do, I just do to help Christian, the community, just people. I mean, you never actually think about it as what you're doing. So then to be nominated, I was like, why? Oh my gosh, but why? So I think I would be very shocked, very teary and very screamy.
Hi, Jade.
Hello, how are you?
We're really well. Where are you travelling to?
I'm actually on my way now to where the caravan is that we got as part of like the charity caravan that we're going to let people use, and we're just going to make sure it's all right, and we're going to start letting people use it from next week. So it's really...
Oh, and that's you've disappeared. That's a whole new part of your story as well that I'm afraid we didn't have enough time to cover in the VT, but all right, there you go. So the caravan is a whole new part to your story that we didn't have chance to cover in the VT, but you know,
yeah.
You're doing even more than we think that you are. And Jade, I have to say, when I saw you on Britain's Got Talent, because I didn't realise it was you when the nomination came in, and I remember viewing it at the time thinking, oh my God, I hope that girl lives in the Northwest because somebody should nominate her. And then, of course, I completely forgot. And then your nomination came in. So, Jade, you are phenomenal. You are absolutely phenomenal. And we are delighted. The last one of the day that I'm giving out, Jade, the inspiring young woman, you and Grace are just awesome. You will be getting an email from me asking for your bank details. It's not dodgy. I'm not going to wipe you out, but it's to arrange for your bursary to be paid to you, and I can't think of a better person than it'll go to. So Jade, you are awesome, and I can't wait to see what you'll do in the future. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank goodness you're not driving.
No, not driving.
Well, have a brilliant weekend, Jade. Give our love to Christian, who's a little superstar in his own right.
He's just here. Christian, say hello.
Christian. Hi, Christian. Hi.
Oh, my heart's just melted.
So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of you, and we'll take great delight in following what you do next, Jade. But have a great weekend.
So you too, bye-bye.
Take care, my love. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I don't intend to follow that because I can't. So this is me, that's her. The next one, we hope, will be live at the Lowry. 30 years next year. 20th of May 2022.
I admire your optimism that we're both going to make it.
Well, okay, this is me. I'll be there.
I might
Who
be a
knows?
hologram.
Who knows? You could be cloned. It's all right. We know how to do it now.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry it ran over, but my maths isn't what it used to be. And I hope you've had an amazing time. It's flown by for us, actually. The coffee is now starting to kick in because we've not eaten and we've been drinking sludge for a few hours, so I'm a bit bouncing off the ceiling. But thank you, and we look forward to seeing you next year. This is us.